afternoon. My name is Anna. I'm here to help. 400 million births prevented. 336 million abortions. 196 million surgical sterilizations. How? The one-child policy. Gender imbalance and the violation of human rights have to stop in China, or the consequences will only increase. There are three major points I want to talk to you about today, all those connecting to the one-child policy. Number 1, gender imbalance. Number 2, the violation of human rights. And number 3, China's future. The one-child policy was formally instituted September 25, 1980. The law was created because of Chairman Mao's campaign, which encouraged more children per family until there was an average of 4 children per family, increasing drastically the population growth in China. As you can see here, there is a huge rise in population growth rate in China during the 1960s, when Mao's campaign took place. After that, once the one-child policy was initiated, the population growth rate has only been decreasing. The results of the campaign were horrific. Food shortage and the death of over 30 million people. How is the one-child policy, along with forced sterilizations and abortions, affecting Chinese citizens today and potentially in the future? The original purpose of the one-child policy was to fix Mao's disaster of uncontrollable births, which brought the economy and food shortage down to dangerous levels. A demographic crisis, meaning a situation where the population is not sustainable, exploded when a smaller workforce was left to care for more than twice the number of elders, which is often called the 4-to-1 problem. One child left to economically support and care for 2 parents and 4 grandparents. There was no room left for social development, and with the gender inequality, a female in the position of a man would leave her parents and join the husband and family, putting hers at risk. This graph from Social Science and Medicine shows another negative of Mao's campaign, the excess female infant mortality. Since the one-child policy, female infant mortality has drastically increased, creating the problem of gender imbalance. The one positive of the one-child policy was that it decreased food shortage, but that's pretty much it. The one-child policy was originally created to only last 20 to 30 years. But since 1980 up to now, the Chinese government has violated several UN resolutions that protect human rights. For example, the violation of Resolution number 215. Governments must not only refrain from violating human rights of all women, but must work actively to promote and protect these rights. The Chinese government has been doing the exact opposite since 1980, when the one-child policy was officially instituted. Violation of Resolution number 223 states that the reproductive rights are in the basic rights of all couples and individuals to decide freely and responsibly the number, spacing, and timing of their children. The UN stated that all governments should take urgent action to combat and eliminate violence against women and prohibit female genital mutilation wherever it exists. This is Resolution number 230. June 2nd, 2012. Feng Jianmei was abducted while at her home and taken to a private hospital where the Chinese officials forcibly aborted her 7-month-old baby. This image of her baby girl circled around the globe and caused an uproar within China and all around the world. Here lies a woman whose rights were taken away, whose baby girl was snatched from inside of her. This is just one example of the many ways the Chinese government brutally violates this woman's rights. On fear of the government, Chinese citizens choose to get rid of their daughters through abortion, abandonment, or infanticide in order to have a son to join the working force. This is called gendercide. Simon Rabinovich made this graph that shows that from 1980 to 2010, China has had more than 10 times the amount of abortions than the US, and it is by far the country with the most number of abortions. As you can see, women don't have it easy there. As gender imbalance increases, crime on women increases along with it. Some of those crimes are forced prostitution, abductions, and trafficking of women and children to be raised by families as future wives of their sons. This graphs by the GGAAP, the Global Gendercide Advocacy and Awareness Project, show China's population during the 2010 and how China's population will be in the 2050 if it continues with the one-child policy this forcibly. The graph on the right shows that the males have a much bigger population than females, but the ages where there are the most people are between 25 and 45, the working force. The graph on the left shows the period of time during the 2050s. The female population has decreased while the male population increased, but the ages where there are the most people are between 55 and 85, leaving the population of the working force with less people, increasing highly the 4-to-1 problem, which I talked about a while ago. Not only is China facing present issues, but the one-child policy will affect their future as well. Experts predict that by 2020, 20 to 40 million Chinese men will be statistically unable to find spouses. China will be home to 40 million more men than women under the age of 20. By the 2030s, the elderly will increase from 1 in 20 to 1 in 4, drastically increasing the 4-to-1 problem. What has to be done? China needs to eliminate the one-child policy, the source of its problems. They need to follow the human rights dictated by the UN. As outsiders of the problem, we need to rally and pressure the UN to act against the Chinese government. We need to fight for those women whose rights have been taken away. We need to fight for justice. This is how we can help. Thank you.